Hi students, here's your 2.1 notes, writing and graphing inequalities. Again, we've been taking notes for some time, and make sure there is a title and your name is in pen on your notes. Stop the video, go ahead and write out the outline of 2.1. I'm going to see if I can upload this into Google Classroom. If not, you're just simply going to have to draw it on your paper. These are key phrases for the inequality symbols. You're going to need to know them. 2.1, the essential question is, how can you solve an inequality? The first thing we need to know is, what is an inequality? And it is a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. So we have our symbols, which are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And hopefully you guys are familiar with these. There are some other key phrases. Again, here's less than. This is also known as fewer than. So when we get into some word problems, you might see that in your homework assignment when we are in Google Meet. Greater than symbol is another key phrase for greater than is more than. And when it has that extra line there, that's a less than or equal to symbol. You can also call this at most or no more than. Okay. And greater than or equal to symbol, at least, and no less than are other key phrases for that symbol. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into example 1A. There is some key phrases here. A number C plus 9.4 is greater than or equal to. That's a key phrase. Greater than or equal to -6. So a number C, we don't know what that number is, but we do know it's C. C plus 9.4 is greater than or equal to -6. There's your answer. Letter B, let's keep going. Letter B is saying 10 is no more than the sum of 3 times a number y and 4. So the key phrase is no more than. That's our key phrase. So what does that mean? No more than? That is our less than or equal to symbol. No more than, less than or equal to symbol. Okay, so 10 is no more than. The number 10 is no more than. The sum means that we are adding. We're adding two numbers, two expressions, okay? The sum of 3 times a number, 3 times the number y, so there it is, 3y, and 4. The sum of 3 times the number and 4. And there's your answer. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Example 2. Tell whether 3 is a solution of the inequality. So in your assignment, they might give you another number other than 3. But basically what you want to do is you want to find the variable, in this case it's x, and you want to replace that with 3. We want to check to see if 3 is a solution, if it makes it a true statement. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3 minus 7. Is it greater than? Well, we don't know. In your textbook, they put a question mark above the inequality symbol because we're not sure. We're going to check. 3 minus 7 is a -4. Is -4 greater than -5, students? Yes, this is a true statement, okay? We know that 4 is not greater than 5, but now we're dealing with negative numbers. So the number that's closest to 0, the negative number that's closest to 0 on a number line is the larger number. So -4 is larger than -5. This is a true statement. That means we do have a solution. That means that 3 is a solution to this inequality. Okay, again, we are showing our work. We're not doing anything in our head, students. I cannot read your head. Okay, all right, what I'm going to do is wherever I see an x, I'm going to replace it with the number 3. -3 times 3 is less than -12.5. Again, I'm going to put a question mark there because I don't know if that's a true statement or not. All right, Negative 9 is less than negative 12.5. Remember, we're dealing with negative numbers. If they're both negative, think of what number is closest to 0, and that's a larger number. Is negative 9 less than negative 12.5? Nope, this is not true. This is not a solution. This is not a true statement. So what I did, I put a slash through that inequality. Okay, that's what you're going to have to do on the other part of your assignment, your classwork assignment. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. We have one more example. We call this example 3. Again, you can pause the video and write out the outline. Vocabulary, we are going to graph an inequality. And when it talks about graph of an inequality, that means we're showing the solution set on a number line. Okay, so there's some things that we actually need to add to this. You have symbols here. Anytime you see less than or greater than without this extra line, we have something what we call a closed dot. Okay, and so you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? That means that that number is not a solution. When you have an open dot, that means the number is not a solution. So what happens when you have a closed dot? That means you have the equal to symbol. It's either less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. And that means the number is a solution. It's part of the answer. Okay, we want to include that number. So that's when we use a closed dot. My past student said, because we have this extra line, we're going to have to use extra ink to go ahead and fill that circle, that dot. All right, so it's asking us to graph each inequality. We're not solving anything. All we're doing is graphing the inequality. Okay, so we have x is greater than or equal to 3. And you need to create a graph. You need to at least give me 3 numbers that make up, this number. We can put 3 in the middle. That means this is 2 and this is 4. Please do not switch the 2 and the 4. Then it's going to be wrong. So x is greater than or equal to 3. That means that we are going to use a closed dot above the 3. Now they're saying all real numbers are greater than or equal to 3. So all the numbers that are larger than or equal to 3, that's the direction that you want to draw your arrow. So what numbers are greater than or equal to 3? We know 4, we know 5, we know 10, we know 100. All the numbers to the right of 3 are larger than 3. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and look at B. We have x is less than or equal to -2. So we want to make sure we include -2. This is -1. Remember, we're dealing with negative numbers. So please do not switch. Don't switch the -3 and -1. Again, we're looking at this symbol. It's less than or equal to -2. So again, it's going to be a closed dot. All the numbers that are less than are to the left. Less than means to the left. Okay, now A and B, the variable was on the left-hand side. That's great. That's how you're supposed to read it. But take a look at C and D. The variable's on the right-hand side. So if you want, you can switch it over. If you switch this over, students, you need to switch the symbol. Okay? Right now it is greater than. You would just change it to a less than symbol. So I'm going to rewrite this, and now take a look. I haven't changed anything because if I know how to read this, a -4 is greater than y. That means y is less than -4. And that's exactly what I wrote there. Y is less than a negative 4. So negative 4 is going to go in the middle, negative 5 here, negative 3. Take a look at the symbol. It's a less than symbol. Remember, we wrote this down. It's an open dot, which means it is not a solution. That number, negative 4, is not a solution of the inequality. Okay, the last one. We have v is greater than square root 36. Okay, so anytime you see the square root of a number, when you're taking the square root of a number, you're asking yourself, what number? There's only one number, if there is one number, that when we multiply by itself, it's going to give me 36. Okay, so we know it is 6, because we know 6 times 6 is 36. So if you have a pair of numbers that you can pull out, there it is. So we have v is greater than 6. Again, we're using the number 6. To the left is 5. To the right is 7. It's an open dot. Numbers that are greater than 6 are to the right.